If you haven't seen my live show last week, then that's why I'm sharing right now about President Biden announced new action to keep families together, aka Pro in Place. Friends, welcome to greencardguys.tv. I'm your host, John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States with a physical office in Houston, Texas. We are help you to secure your legal status to live and work in America legally. So let me share my screen again. If you're not familiar with this, this happened June 18th last week. Okay. And I'll give you a quick summary here. Essentially, there's two main categories. Okay. Category one, people who are married as of June 17th, 2024 or before. And the other category for people who are DACA recipients or dreamers who would apply for a work visa. So this video is for the first category, talking about people who are actually not married. So you may already know about this Parole program that was announced last week, and you've been wondering, well, shoot, does that count you? Could that count you because you didn't actually get married yet, but you're about to? Like you bought the rock, been together for a long time, whether it's 1 year or longer. You got the rock, whether it's made out of candy or not, but you were about to propose or you're about to get married. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, but there might be an option for you. Okay, depends where you live or where you can go. Actually, there's a legal concept called common law marriage. Okay, so let me share my screen again. But this time, I'm going to share with you the USCIS policy manual, as I like to do, as always, and share the source. Okay, this is Chapter 2 of Marriage and Marriage Union for Naturalization. But even though it's for naturalization here, there's a lot of information here that is really helpful. Okay, so the validity of marriages in the United States or abroad. Now, I'll just highlight some sentences here that's most relevant. Under this rule, a marriage is valid for immigration purposes in cases where the marriage is valid under the law of the jurisdiction in which it's performed. Now, the last time this section of the policy manual came back into relevancy was when it was same-sex marriages. But now it's coming back relevant because people want to know. You want to know if common law marriage is going to be accepted. In our opinion, yes. Okay. As time goes along, we'll provide more information, but let me share my screen again. Now, there's a little section here that says USCIS does not recognize the following relationships as marriages, even if valid in the place of celebration. So let's say you got married in another state like Texas, where in Texas we do recognize common law marriage. Okay. So even though it does say here civil unions, domestic partnerships, or other such relationships are not recognized as marriages in the place of celebration, but let's click this section right here, number 5. If the relationship is treated as a marriage, however, such as a common law marriage, it will be recognized. Okay, so that is great news, wonderful news. Okay, but there's very few states that recognize common law marriage. Okay, so we'll share that list right here. Right there. Okay, now let's scroll back up. Right about here, there's a section B for common law marriage. Let me increase the size here so it's easier for y'all to see. Okay, there we go. Common law marriage. All right. Free to live together as spouses from the inception of a relationship. Some states recognize common law marriage and consider the parties to be married. In order for a common law marriage to be valid for immigration purposes, the parties must live in that jurisdiction. We'll cover that in a second. And the parties must meet the qualifications for common law marriage for that jurisdiction. Okay. So, for example, let's go to Texas. Okay. This is a Texas State Law Library. Okay. We always want to share credible sources with you. Now they have this question: does Texas recognize common law marriage? Yes, it does. Okay. Now here are the requirements in Texas. At least must be at least 18 years old, not related to each other, and not married to anyone else. Okay. And here's the section of the family code that states what qualifies as a common law marriage. Basically, recitation of the same thing. Okay. Now, there was that little statement that said this right here: the parties must live in that jurisdiction. So, so that is what I infer, that if the common law marriage that they get the certificate in is in Texas, then they must live in Texas. But is that really true? Because look at this case law. I'm going to share my screen. It could be argued otherwise. Okay. We believe there's an opening for argument there. Okay. Although, of course, I live in Texas, so I might be a little biased. Y'all can come on down, but don't inflate our housing prices. Okay. Don't do that. All right. But let's look at this case right here. Now, this one specifically is not about common law marriage. Well, of course, we'll continue searching to help you all out here. But this one, it's a little, not exactly one that I would advise here. But this one is about a marriage between an uncle and a niece. Okay. Now, the thing here is that they got married in Georgia, not New York. New York is where they lived, their residence. Okay. But they got married in Georgia, where it was allowed, at least at that time. I don't know if it is right now, but they live in their residence of New York. And essentially, this case, scroll all the way down here if I can. The order from this court, okay, be a Board of Immigration Appeals, says that the appeal is sustained and the record is remanded to the district director. Okay. Actually, above that, it says, it appears that an out-of-state marriage entered into by an uncle or a niece who are residents of the state of New York does not violate the public policy of that state and will be recognized as valid in New York. We therefore disagree with the district director's interpretation of the applicable New York law. When they say district director, that's referring to the USCIS employee. Okay. All right. So hopefully that gives you more confidence that it could be possible for you. Okay. Of course, as I mentioned in other videos, as more information comes out, is released, we're going to clarify some of those questions for you. So stay tuned. If you have not followed yet or subscribed, do that right now down below. And we go live almost every day. And I try my best to go live at 12 p.m. But I actually have a couple interns this summer, so the timing is a bit off. And sometimes I go live at night. So what I'm trying to say, you got to subscribe down below, follow on your respective platform so you can receive the notifications of when I go live. And you're welcome to ask a question. You're welcome to join, ask a question. You can even be invited to the studio to ask a question if you like. Now, I know some of you are shy. Some of you are shy, and that's okay. So we have a couple other options. Down below is a link that starts with zaap.bio. In that link, you have 3 options. Number 1, if you are interested in our services, or without a doubt, you said, I want that law firm, Green Card Guys Law Group, to help me with my case. We have a reservation fee, less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, okay? We're not sponsored by them. Number 2, maybe you're like, well, I don't really care for them, but I do need legal answers. All good. We do offer a traditional strategy session for a 3-digit fee. I can't say it aloud because I don't want to get banned by any of these platforms. And then option number 3, okay? If you don't want to sign up now for anything, right? You just want to learn more about any kind of topic, not just about parole in place. Any topic. Could be Child Status Protection Act, waivers, another like case type, like you want to apply as a business owner, investor, welcome to select option number 3, webinar. Okay. Or even including people if you have a question about sponsorship. Now, we're not going to be able to walk you through every step of the way in the webinar. This is share general information, answer some questions, of course, try to point you in the right direction. But this is not taking over as your law firm, not during webinar, okay? So I just have to make that clear. And of course, this is not legal advice. This is legal information, as I'm required to say by my state bar. So if you want a one-on-one meeting with an attorney, then that's going to be option number 2. All right, folks, you know what to do. Subscribe, follow, and tune in for the next show. Talk to you soon.